trying to investigate the cause of this antifreeze leak or coolant leak on this '06 Lexus Rx330. I believe it to be the thermostat housing. Perhaps the gasket's gone bad. I think, yeah, the housing is plastic, so maybe the housing needs to be replaced altogether. But I have to take off this air filter housing to look and make sure I can verify that it is leaking from that area. So you got one bolt here to remove the top part. There was a plug right here as well. I've already moved that. You just pinch the tab right here and pull back. I'm gonna take 1, 2, 3 bolts off. I don't see any more. Yeah. Just be sure to look around. You know, older cars, stuff happens, parts piece off, break, you lose bolts, screws, nuts, all of that. So always check around and make sure you're not missing anything, because that'll prevent you from lifting, raising, or moving. I'm using a 10mm socket. Two hoses on the side. A mark too. Yes. There's a mark on the top, and there's a mark on the hose, so you know which one goes to which. Jeez. Pretty deep. Oh, see, look, like I said, captures any and everything. This is a different filter outside of that in cabin. 1, 2, 3 bolts inside. Those are 10s too. Oh. Don't waste any antifreeze trying to do this test. Just get some water. It's gonna run out anyways. The housing goes from almost at the manifold all the way back to the intake, and there's no antifreeze or signs of any liquid getting back here past the starter, and all the leaking fluid is literally at the front of the starter flowing down from underneath the pipe. So that leads me to believe thermostat housing is cracked and causing the leak. So since I had the thermostat housing that I got to get to and take off, it's got 3 bolts on it, 10mm, and after you remove the housing, I didn't take all of it off. I still got some part of it connected to the throttle. I'm still waiting to decide if I'm even gonna take that part off along with these hoses that's right above the thermostat housing. I'm not sure if I'm gonna take those off or not too. It only depends on if they impede me trying to pull it out. And I've also got this starter up here that might cause a problem. We'll just see how that goes. There's a wire harness that's connected to the engine body, to the engine block. So you just take your 10mm and you can unscrew these bolts, and I always put them back so that I don't lose them and I know which one goes where. So I'm gonna just try to see if I can take off these 3 10mm bolts and take off another bolt that's connected to the actual thermostat housing. Ooh, there we go. There we go. I wonder how much fluid is going to be in here and probably going to come out. Be very careful because this looks like it's a nut, not a screw. You don't want it to fall down. And I'm going to be really careful to the point to where I'm going to leave it on a little bit. I don't like wearing gloves because I feel like I can't really touch what I'm trying to get. So, for smarter people, or people who want less work, whatever, you can always get magnetic sockets. Once you crack these, it's important. This is why I keep saying, like, women, we are good for these kind of jobs because men, they have hard times getting in the small crevices. They don't have little hands, so it's like, let's help them out. Join our profession. Next bolt I'm about to take off is connecting the housing to the engine block. It's about a 13mm or a half. By the way, these clips right here, they are freaking horrible. I hate them. They get on my nerves. If you would like to make your life just a little bit easier, then go get the ones where you tighten and untighten with a Phillips head screwdriver. That is so much better than these clamps right here. Then that way you can take it off, put it back on without having to worry about always keeping the pressure on these clips to keep it open. Okay. Let's keep it maybe negative resistance. Yep, this is okay for the old one, not the new one though. It's gonna be a lot harder. Look at that shit. I'm gonna go ahead and replace the old thermostat. The old gas should just pop on out. Hopefully, shit. Or handy dandy wires. They make shit so nice. Oh Lord. She's coming for me. Stuck in there. may seem easy, but trust me, it's actually pretty okay that it does that, because it just slides in. It's okay that it just slides in easy, because once you put the housing back on, that will seal it in. But now I'm trying to figure out a way to get this new one back in. Yeah, no. So in order to get the thermostat housing back in, I had to loosen up the starter and pull it back a little. I didn't take the bolts all the way out. They were 14 millimeter. I just backed the bolt out enough so I could slide the starter back and wiggle this thing on in there, and made it a lot more easier. When you're taking it out, if it's already cracked, it doesn't really matter what force, what bend, or what crack you extend that's already on that bike. It's already broken, so just go and pull it out. So that'll make this job a little easy. You can be rough on the old part, pull this back and put the new part in with some finesse. I did have to take off these two hoses just so I could be able to turn it around when pulling it out and putting it back in. Outside of that, this wasn't too bad of a job. So now that I've secured this back to the body, I'm gonna put those 3 nuts that came off of it back on. Tighten back up the starter and just plug everything back together. And then of course you got to put the air filter housing back together, but that only took what, maybe 5 minutes. So yeah, I would say altogether, if you knew what you were encountering, this could easily be a 2-hour job, maybe 2.5. If you've never done this, probably 4. But you can split this job over a period of days, you know, take something out, remove something if you want to. If you just want to get all over with, just do it at one time.